Yo, what's going on? Can everybody hear me?
Hey Kai.
Hey, can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. We'll just wait for Maria to get here. I think that's supposed to be everybody.
Okay.
All right. How y'all doing?
Good, thanks. And yourself? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you fine. I'm doing good.
Awesome. How you doing?
Hey Kai, is there any chance we record the session?
Yeah, I'm recording it right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We'll wait about a few more minutes here. I hear that MT4 loading up.
Yeah, I was just getting the screen ready
Yeah.
so I can follow you guys.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be focusing on gold?
That's what I trade, but
Okay.
I'm gonna break down what we're gonna do today. So
Okay, no
uh,
stress.
yeah, I said give it a few more minutes, let Maria come in, and then we'll get going.
Okay, cool.
Hey Kyle, I'm here. It's just my thing it says Peter because that's my dog's name. I named myself after my dog.
My bad.
So I don't want to.
Yeah, okay.
I just got in here and I was like, you know what? Let me let them know and not mute my mic. But yeah, so Payam, you here, brother? Did you see what I text you? What I text in the group?
I just saw it. Thank you. Yep, I saw it. Yep.
We're in a couple of groups together, and just so everybody knows, I know Payam from a couple of groups, and listen, it took me a long time. I was in so many groups, and I've spent so much money on indicators and this and that and whatever.
Yep.
So for anybody that listens to this or anybody that sees it, the one thing that I would tell you is this: whatever it is, whatever setup that you see, easily. Right? Master that one setup and forget about everybody else, okay? Because everybody else is at a different level than you are.
Right.
And you know what? They may be able to, you and I know a friend, his name is George Eden.
Yep.
This guy has been trading for 7 years, in case you don't know. I know him as a personal friend.
Right.
So he was mentoring me, and the thing is he's so far advanced than me that I couldn't keep up with him. So I said to him, I go, listen, George, I love you a lot, and I get it. I just can't keep up with you because that's just not the way I see the market. He saw the market in another person's thing that we saw, which is Leo, which now I understand. But I saw the market in the way that Jeff teaches it. Levels, higher trend levels, not weekly levels, not weekly,
Right.
bias, not all that stuff. And I always saw the market that way. So I was having a rough time. And it took me 2 years to figure that out. So once I mastered the one setup, which is the market maker reversal. Now, I don't always catch the peak. And you've seen my posts from some other groups. I really try and grab those top peaks. So Kyle, you've never seen them, but I hate when I don't catch the very, very top. You know what I mean? So I hate it because I love to use a very tight stop loss. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that the chance isn't there, and I'm learning it's okay to have a bigger stop loss, and it's also okay not to catch the third level peak, because if you know the levels, you can catch something else, like the bounce off the 50 or whatever, but you have to learn one, that's it, at a time. And stick with it. You're not going to trade as much. You're going to definitely see everybody else posting, oh, I caught this, I caught that, or whatever, and be frustrated. But just know.
Exactly.
Just know that if you catch that one setup, when you catch it, I was waiting on everybody. Everybody catches setups 25 to 50 pips, but learning that market maker cycle, catching one setup every other week, I was getting 100 pips from one trade. So that made up for the 25 to 50 pips that everybody else is making. And I was okay with that. I was able to double my account each time using a relatively small amount of money. Because I started out with micro lots. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
I started trading it with micro lots, and one micro lot, I would do it this way, just for everybody else. I would take 2 micro lots, right? Close at one at 50, put the other one at break even and let it ride down and close that out to maybe 50 pips. Because for me, I trade EU. So EU is a relatively small ADR pair, but I can see the market maker cycle very clear on that. I don't know about everybody else. Everybody else says that it's very difficult, but for me, it's very easy when I see it. And I only trade the clearest setups in my thing. I posted, if you guys want, I'll post what my confirmations are. I really posted them in the group for you, and I'll send them to you individually if you want.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, please. Thank you.
That's my confirmations. If I don't see it, I don't trade it. And I use my demo as a crackhead account. When I feel it now, you know how you used to get a feeling that you says you're supposed to be emotionless? When it's a good setup, I really am very calm and very unemotional. When I'm emotional, I know I shouldn't be taking that trade in live. That's the way it works for me now. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, oh, this is a great setup. And I'm like, wait a minute. Check yourself, because I'm very, very calm when it's a great setup in live. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'll send them to you. And sorry, Kyle, I don't mean to take over. I just figured I'd let them know that. And anybody else that you know, that needs to hear it. So.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, I think you touched on something great there. The fear of missing out on the setup. Definitely knowing your personality on the market is definitely big too. And I'm big on technicals as well, but I'm definitely big on psychology. So this is pretty much how I wanted to run the session. I wanted to kind of be an open forum for everybody to talk. I'm not trying to sit here and act like I know it. I know all the answers, because I don't. So what I want to touch on today is if you guys could write down some questions in the comments that maybe I can help with. What I'm going to do is try to answer those questions through this week of back testing. I'm just going to back test this prior week, and then I'll give you my perspective on things, and then we can kind of engage and go back and forth from there, if that's cool with everybody.
Yeah, that's great. It's your thing. Do you? Like I said, I'm consistent. I still, so every once in a while, I still make a stupid mistake. Like I took a small loss in EU. I told everybody, but I still want to learn, and I'm not going to give up on what's my bread and butter. I just would like to learn something else in the meantime. You know what I mean? And
yeah, definitely. So write down your most concerning questions real quick in the comments if you can do that, or you can just speak it out. And then I'm gonna write them down, and we'll get going. The bars can't get into the session. Did you guys have a password?
No. Don't click on the, if anybody, tell them to click on where it says Zoom video, not in, I don't know which one I clicked on. One of them is one that'll bring you to download Zoom, and the other one just lets you in. I don't know if maybe the meeting password is that you have a limit on how many people you could let in.
Let me see.
But we don't have a lot of people in here, right?
No.
It's okay. I now got inside.
Okay, he made it. Cool. All right. So, you want me to get going? You got questions you want to put down, or? Okay.
This is my second time using Zoom, so I'm trying to figure out where to post questions and all that type of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, the chat should be right there, but that's cool. I mean, you can just speak it out too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, now I found it. Thanks. Do you have questions yet?
I think everybody's a relatively small group, so if you have a question, just shout it out there.
Yeah.
Like for me, Kyle, I'll start out. Do you use levels? I don't trade gold because for me it's too advanced for me from what I see. You know what I mean? Like it takes an exorbitant amount of pips, and like I said, I'm cheap. I want a tight stop, and I'm not there yet. So, but I hear it's very lucrative.
Levels for me, I'm not big on levels. I really go by the market structure. Levels is something I would use like in back testing just to confirm for the next session or where I'm at. But I don't look at levels as far as like it's on level 3, I'm looking for a reversal type of deal. I mean, the ADR does help when it's 3 times ADR, but as you guys know, the piece can reset. It can go up, go down for another 3, 4, 5 levels if it wants. So I'm more big on liquidity, and I'll just get going, get started. So what I did here is this purple line here is the start of the new week. What I was looking for was my bias going into Monday and for the prior week. So the way I see the market is I'm looking for the next level of a pool of money where the market makers can go to. So Thursday and Friday, there was this level here that was like a nice support level. This was the whole entire week. On Friday, right here, this level, it traded right through it. So it broke that support level. So I was looking for them to, and you can see it came right back to this level here. You'll see that all the time on the daily and the H1, that the day will finish off on the same price points as other places. So what I was looking for was, I was still bearish. And if you guys look at the study group when I try to post my back testing, my screenshots, you can see that I was looking for it to trade through. So obviously Jeff shows us that Monday is usually a watch day. So that's all I did for Monday, was to watch to see where price goes. And ultimately for the week, I wanted it to trade through these levels here, to confirm my bearish bias. So I'm gonna drop down to the H1 real quick. And we'll just start from the week here. So Monday came, I'm watching price, and this is really what I do. I just watch price to see where it goes. This is where it finished off on Friday. So I know if it holds this level, they're doing that for a reason. And this is just how I see the market. I'm looking at it for, they have a pool of money down here that they don't want to give up, at least not yet. So Monday came, it didn't do much. And then this Sunday, and then Monday came up here, and I'll drop down to the M15 because you're gonna see a little better. Get over here. Monday came, and they did not break this low right here. This is where I was looking for them to get, in this area, the 1474 area. So what I do is, the reason I trade gold, honestly, is because it works with my schedule. Most of the moves are going to happen in New York session. I usually get up at 7 o'clock and I'm looking at the market. 7 to 8:30 is where I'm looking for these moves. I think a big part of the consistency is looking for your move, your pattern, whatever you're looking for, at the session open times or right before it. So this is a move I caught, and I actually put this in the group. This is one of the best trades of the week. So here I saw they finished equal lows right here in London when they came down. So they came right here. This is Monday, and they came right here. So as soon as they gave me a stop hunt, a move above Asian box, just like Jeff talks about, and they gave me a couple confirmations. One is the confirmation of equal lows right here. One was this pin right here on top of the EMA, and then a big shift down. That means they got the money, they got up out of there. Some people call that, I think, a spike or whatever, but I just look at it to see where they're going next. So as soon as they did this, I took the trade right here, and from red, that's a 36 stop loss for me. I think a lot of the people like to say my stop loss got hit, and then it went my direction. I think people like to be, I used to be the same way, and I still kind of am getting over it. I like to try to be slick with my stops. So maybe it crossed a 13, I used to put it just right above here for like a 17, 18 pip stop. But you got to think about the spread. You got to think about the manipulating the market. So your safest bet is really going to be at the top of the session here.
Mm-hmm. So just to show you what I see right there, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that pin right there at the top of Tuesday, that's Tuesday, correct? Yeah. I'm pointing at it as if you could see it, right? So that pin right there to the blueberry, that's Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So see that, Payam, and everybody else? I'm sorry. I just know Payam, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it. That broke Monday's high, created an M to the blueberry.
Okay.
Correct.
So if you looked on the TDI, for me, I use the TDI still. I love the TDI. That should have caused divergence.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And you have a multi-session M, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's exactly what that multi-session M is, a stop hunt, right? Now, I'm not great with equal lows and equal highs because I always thought that equal lows have to be traded through and then a retest of it to get into it, right? So when you do equal lows and equal highs, Kyle, you wait for the equal low and then you wait for the stop hunt. Is that it?
Well, I'm looking for the equal lows because I know that they're holding that level, the market makers, for a reason. And there's a pool of money down there, so they're trying to induce you the other way. That's just how I see it.
Oh, okay, okay. No,
So
see, for that I understand that better because I was like, I don't understand. So for me, where you said where the stop loss would be tight, I don't wait for the 13 confirmation.
Okay.
I anticipate that divergence right there because I'm anticipating them breaking that high. Monday's high. So that's how I get in with a very tight stop loss. Now, those are just happen to be my rules, you know what I mean, when I see it. Because I'll put a trend line above and below last week's highs and lows. Okay. So it's basically the same thing. And if I see, you know, my confirmation, there's also a lot of other things going on for me to see. The 800 and 200 have crossed, which means it's still going to drop for me, right?
Yep.
You know, and I love those equal lows that you've explained it that way and equal highs. So for equal highs, you're looking for a stop hunt low to go up. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And it depends on where you're looking at the market structure in total too, because I still see from Friday that there's still a pool of money down here. So I was looking for it to trade below. But if it holds, I know that it's probably not going to get traded through anymore, especially after Tuesday or Wednesday. So after those equal lows got traded through, let me go back. Sorry. Yeah, so after those equal lows got traded through on Tuesday, I was still bearish on that setup. So you can see here, there's another set of equal lows right here. So I didn't anticipate this move, but as Jeff said, the low of the week is usually created on Tuesday or Wednesday, right? So Tuesday came and it came up. You know, you could have took that trade still in London. I was waiting for New York because that's when I trade this pair, and it touched this but did not break it. So what I see here is there's now a low, and now there's a higher low as well. If you see what I'm saying, from last Friday. So Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So now I'm anticipating this right here is the high of the week. This here is the low of the week. And so I'm saying to myself, okay, they may come through, but if I see the stop hunt right here in New York and it does not come back to this low, then I know we're probably good for the rest of the week. So that's exactly what it did. And, you know, came down around 7, 8 o'clock. Same thing. I'm looking for that trade. I'm just looking for a move. I don't really look for the M's or W's. I'm looking to see if the second leg does hold that initial stop hunt first before I get in. And that's kind of like my confirmation, kind of same way people wait for the 13. I don't really wait for the 13 myself, but I like to see if it's going to hold this area right here, which it did. So, you know, you can get in right here, and usually goal is going to be 25, 30 pips anyways. So same thing, I'm looking for this, and I'm making sure that it holds this area as well as it's moving up. And you can see successfully every day, it held that area, came higher low, and then higher low. So you can see it on the daily that even though my area was bearish, these two held pretty much exactly. It did not come back to Friday's low right here, which also held this area, this big blue bar right here. These wicks is what you want to look at. I'm always looking at the wicks. So you want to look at the wicks at the bottom of the wicks, see where it came to, and every day it didn't break that low. So every day I was anticipating them that was the Tuesday reversal from this Monday drop. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying yes for me. So I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm saying yes for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and like I said, guys, I'm not trying to act like I know all the answers. I'm just trying to share with you what works for me. So I don't know if this works, if you see this the same way, Maria, that I'm explaining it.
It's a different explanation, which for me cleared up the equal highs and equal lows. Very, very clear. I was very unclear about that, and I know I know Jeff follows it or whatever. So I kind of tend not to confuse myself, but very clear explanation for me. Thank you. For me, right, guys, I understand what he's talking about, the stop hunts. And I would definitely look at that. And I basically trade the same thing. I trade the stop hunts, but for me, in my live account, I've learned to just trade the clearest setup for me. So probably that stop hunt where you have, where is it, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the stop hunt low rise. Unless that's a W on the 15-minute, I'm not taking it. You know what I mean? But look at that 1 hour. If you go back to the 1 hour, now mind you, he's trading gold, right? This could be on any pair. See the equal lows on Tuesday and Wednesday? Can you point at it? Tuesday and Wednesday equal lows? Right? To that right there, my friends, if you look at, say this wasn't gold, I don't really know how gold reacts to the TDI, but on any other pair, that's a multi-session W on the 1 hour with divergence. I'm almost positive of that.
Yeah, it is multi-session W on the H1.
And it's basic what Jeff used to teach in the basic M and W pattern. So if you just take that one trade, right, in any pair, if you're struggling, just wait for that multi-session M or W with a TDI confirmation. I wish that, I could show you a chart of mine and it's
yeah, please, you can show.
It's very clear. Like, I don't know if I can pull it up, Hold on. I have a very, very simple, let me see if it comes up on gold, actually, and it's a 1 hour chart. It's Tuesday and Wednesday, you said, right, Kyle?
Yeah, that was Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yep, divergence. Can I share can you allow me to share my screen?
Let me see.
Like, I think you have to allow me to share my screen.
Okay. I'm not too savvy with the Zoom, so you got to bear.
Yeah, no, me either. Me either.
So are you just trying to show the TDI?
You can request for remote control.
Okay, so I'm gonna request it. There you go. Do you get the request, Kyle?
Hold on. I don't see anything.
Select request. Hold on. There you go. Maybe that's me. Maybe I should learn how to read, right? Okay, you good?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so here we go. This is Kyle's chart, right? Right here on gold, right? So 1 hour chart, right? Multi-session W, right? Divergence. Look at it.
Can you hear me, guys? Sorry to cut you guys. I'm still on Kyle's screen, so I can't see what you are pointing out on.
Can you please share your screen, because you also can share your own screen. That's also possible, I think.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I could show meeting controls, give up remote control.
Yeah, Kyle has
only controls,
and you can start sharing.
Yeah, I think you have to go up to the view options and hit stop sharing, Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
And then we should go to a blank screen. There we go. Okay, right. So let me see if I can share my screen.
There's a button at the button.
Share?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, so here we go. See, this is Kyle's setup, right? I'm sorry for all the lines here. This is hold on a second. That's Jeff's the quarter series, and I use that too as a price point. But I just want to show you exactly what I was talking about in this session right here, where I would have taken this and why. Okay, so he's talking equal lows, right here, right? See it, equal lows. I am talking about divergence right here and right here. It's flat and flat. Multi-session W, boom, up.
But
okay?
When is your entry? Like, where you?
Well, you can't listen. Who's speaking?
This is
I'm sorry.
Debraj.
Hey, Debraj, how are you? Okay, so my entry is going to be very tight, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I am a self-appointed Helen Keller that you used to be able not to see anything. And now I don't wait for those confirmations. For me, my confirmation is, let's see if I can drop down. I don't trade gold. So for me, my entry would be somewhere around, I'd get up for London, but my entry would be somewhere around here, or I would wait for this low to be broken and boom, you see how it breaks it just by a hair with divergence, and look at the W. So I'm already anticipating this divergence. Not this divergence. Why? Because this divergence doesn't break this. In order for a divergence to occur, right, divergence occurs when the last high or low is broken. That's when true divergence happens. So you see how the TDI gives you kind of like a false, hold on, this is my, that's my trend line. Let's get rid of this. The TDI kind of gives you like a false divergence with here and here. See how it's giving you a divergence here and here? I don't use that. I wait till it breaks the point of, you know, of the other divergence. And here you go. Look, shark fin out of the water where we used to teach that, right? Shark fin, in the water, you know what I mean? It broke this last low, caused divergence. So this candle would take off. For me, once I see that this is causing divergence, I don't trade gold. This is going to take off. If you use any other pair, you know what I mean? Like you can see I'm negative in GJ because once again, I was anticipating the reversal and I was like, oh, let me try it. But this is my demo account. I'm not taking this trade in live. You know what I mean? Because I knew I was already. So let me show you what I would take in, say, EU right here.
And you take in M15 or H1?
No, I look at the M15 first and then I take, I look at the H1 first. So here you go. Head and shoulders pattern, right? I'm waiting for it to break last week's low, right? Right here. This is my setup right here. This is the setup that I've mastered. Break of last week's low, right? Now, the break of last week's low will give you, should give you divergence, right? So it did not. So I'm waiting for divergence. So I'm anticipating it on Tuesday because why? Tuesday is usually where they set the high or the low of the week, right? So you can't really see divergence here, but this breaks the structure. And now it's broken this structure here. Now it's breaking it again here. So for me, on the 1 hour, this is railroad tracks, right? And if you look, I drop down to the 15-minute. I'm looking for divergence on the 15-minute. And where is it? Here you go, right?
Yeah, it's real good, Maria. I think we had different styles of doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same thing.
Yep, it's basically the same thing, but it's different. And now, obviously, you guys could clearly see the head and shoulder patterns, multi-day head and shoulder pattern, which you cannot see in hindsight, really. But this right here is where I would start to look for my divergence because I trade London. But if I miss that, sometimes I'll wait. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'll wait for a confirmation, and my confirmation is, you know, waiting. And if I'm not too sure about it, where the hell is that setup? I changed it. Duh. So if I'm not too sure about it, you know, this is exactly what I would do. I will wait for right here. I actually place a trend line right here, right, on yesterday's low, right? And I'm waiting for price to come back and hit that trend line. And the minute it hits it, I'm in. So where's my stop loss? 6 pips. I usually do a 10 pip stop loss for the spread. Why am I waiting for this to come back to this trend line? Do you think that I know this? No, but on the 1 hour, I'm already divergent on the 1 hour. I'm already divergent on the 15-minute. So I'm waiting for a retrace. You can get in right here, you know what I mean, after this, and your stop loss will be relatively, you know what I mean, higher because you're waiting for the close of the 13, right? So if you wait for the close of the 13, let me make this bigger. Where would your entry be? Close of the 13 would be definitely right here, right? So if you got in, let's say the close of the 13 candle, your stop loss is still 13 pips. You know, if that setup is not clear for you, which also will make it clearer for you, I'm going to show you what I do. And I trade the same thing that Jeff trades. Hold on, let me mark this off on. I only trade EU and GU. And I look at which one would have the clearest setups for me on the 1 hour. So where's the divergence here on the 1 hour? Right there, look at that multi-day divergence on the dollar. So I know something's happening with the dollar here. Look at this right here. This is what I'm waiting for on a Tuesday. If you drop down, see how I sectioned it off? Look at this divergence. I'm waiting for this. So here has been upgraded. Okay. So right here, you have you have a divergence and you have an M. Had you got in here, right? 10 pips. Mm-hmm. Had you got in where you close on the 13, that's okay too. You know, it closed on the 13, you get in here, 16 pips. How many of you have let trades run longer than 16 pips in the opposite direction? I'm sure there are many of you that let them run 50, 100 pips, correct? Because I've done it in the past. So why not take 20 pips? And if you get stopped off, you're just wrong. And it took me a long time to learn that. Now I'm going to switch to GU.
So you start analyzing with dollar index first.
I look at all three of them, honestly, to see which setup is the clearest for me. Mm-hmm. And whichever one I see the clearest is the one I take. I don't trade the dollar because I don't have a live account with FX Choice. I will. I've always had a live account with Trader's Way. And honestly, I had so much money in there. I lost, a couple of thousand in there. And I had my last $400 in there. And I refused to trade that $400. So what I did was I sectioned off. I had like $425. I put $500 in there. And I put micro accounts, $10, $25, $30 into an account until I could trade bigger lots. And I've gotten that back up. And now I'm up to trading, I can trade half of standards, but I can trade standards. I still am squeamish about the higher lot size. So I still have my psychology to work on, but the setups are becoming clearer to me. Here you go, GU, look at the setup, right? Just to let you see it. Broke the low it was like by a hair, correct? On a Tuesday. It is divergent from here to here. So I'm breaking the low. I'm waiting for divergence. You know what I mean? If you go down and drop down to the 15-minute chart, it's not, the divergence doesn't happen here, but you're waiting for it. And I wouldn't have taken this setup because I don't see a clear W. I would have probably taken it. This is way past my time. I'm not sitting in front of the charts all day long. Like Kyle, I trade the London and now the New York because I'm testing something out in New York, but eventually I want to just get to New York. I can't do these long hours anymore. You know what I mean? So the W is right here with divergence. If you look at it right there, they don't give you much because now we know they're going to run away with everything, but you don't know that at the time. So I wouldn't have traded this, I missed it and it's okay for me to miss it. I've made my money on just waiting for those clearest patterns. And if I miss it, I miss it. But I've doubled and tripled that, $400 account and I'm good. So I can take bigger lot sizes. I just won't right now until I'm 1,000. I think I actually said I'm going to start trading my first standard lot, next week when I see the clearest setup. So,
wow. Okay. That's good. Cool.
But like I said, I won't trade, and I definitely won't trade a standard lot on something that I don't see. That's just me. I've learned from a friend, if you see a setup and you think it's going to work, I take it in demo. If I see the setup clear as day, then I use a standard lot. You know what I mean? But until I see the clear as day, I don't do it. I won't do it. Like for instance, people might say I'm nuts, but I took this down and I took this up, all by just marking the highs and the lows. So if you look at it, but once again, this is not clear to you, but it was clear to me. So if you don't see it clearly, then you should not be trading it.
Hey, Maria.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so how important is it to you to prep before the session? Do you do that at all? Do you like to mark up your charts before the session?
Absolutely. I have my charts marked up. I'm going to actually show you the madness that's in my chart that only I understand. So you guys ready for it? You guys are going to go nuts. Here you go. This is my markup.
Yeah.
So you see how you would never understand this? Now, this is my markup, but I don't trade on this chart because obviously it's convoluted or whatever. So here you go. These are my markups, right? This is the weekly low, which I didn't move, right? Because I really didn't trade last week. I'm away. But this is last week's low. The blue are the 3 times the ADR that's exceeded, right? So what happened to the 3 times the ADR? It went down, but it didn't go all the way down because for me, I know that this is just level 3 in the 1 hour, but it's going somewhere else. How do I know that? I use the EMAs, the crosses of the EMAs. You know what I mean? So the whites are the monthly highs. So I was anticipating this hitting the monthly high. It did on the 3 times the ADR, and it went down. If you drop down to a 15-minute chart, I know I'm going to confuse the crap out of you, but just to see on a 15-minute chart, I actually took this M and I took it for 45 pips. I did 45 pips twice. I did a total of 45 pips on a Friday. I'm going to show you why I took this trade on a Friday, trap day. Okay? So here's a clean chart of EU. Let's go back to that Friday, right? I'm going to show you why I took this trade on a Friday. So let's mark that off. Let me clean this off. So if you can't see anything else and you are struggling, then this is what you should be looking for in the market maker cycle. Clearest M's and W's. So this is why I took this trade, right? And I got out. I got out because I know it's against the trend. You don't know if you're against the trend. So if you don't know you're against the trend, take your pips and get out. Why would I take this trade? Anybody can anybody see it right here? Perfect M right in the shadow box, right? This is at 9:45. Perfect M, divergence. I took this right to here, right? And honestly, I got in right here. I was trading this off my phone, which I was out and I did not, but I had marked this up already. So I already knew where I was going. So once this retraced for me, once again, I took this at the retrace, took it here, got out. Once again, I saw that they retraced up and got out. Why did I know this? I knew that they were trapping the traders. For you that's not experienced, if you're struggling, you see a perfect M, you take it and you get out at the 50. Whatever pips that gives you, it gives you a win, it gives you confidence. 29 pips is not bad on a Friday for not, stop being greedy and swinging it. You know what I mean? It's all relative, and I know I might be confusing you, but I want to show you something, right? This is, right?
So what
1, 2, 3. I'm sorry?
Are you also seeing any higher time frame bias?
Of course. This is why I just took this to the water and got out. Mm-hmm. The higher time frame bias suggests we're going long in EU. Right? It's always suggested that we're going long. Look at your crosses on the 1 hour. For me, EMAs are very telling, right? We've had the 1350 cross, level 1, 250 cross, level 2. We're still in level 2 on the 1 hour. So I'm expecting level 3, which usually happens at this cross or this cross. And if they're very close together, I wait for those crosses. I'm not taking it short. So I knew that this was still going to come down, bounce off of here. That was my assumption. I don't know whether that's going to happen. So because it's a Friday and it's trap day, I see that perfect M, and I know that those F'ers like to F with people. So I see the perfect M. For me, it's a relatively very tight stop loss. 7 pips. I can afford 7 pips. And I took this down.
Just a quick question.
Go ahead.
Where exactly did you enter that trade?
Right here at the second line.
Okay, cool.
At the retest, right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, like I said, for me, I can see this. And sometimes I check it at a line chart. See the M?
Yeah.
And like I said, if I'm wrong, it costs me 7 pips and I'm out. I'm done. It's Friday, I'm done. But for me, all the confirmations are there. There's divergence, right? Right here and right here. This is even and divergence is this way. See it?
Yeah.
It is right at this box for me paints from 9 to 10 o'clock, 9:45. Brinks trade, right?
New York session, New York?
New York session. This is New York session. 9:45.
Okay.
It's within that hour. You will be surprised how many trades happen between 9 and 10.
Can you show us any other example of the same setup? You were taking 9 to 9:45 and M or W.
I took them all the week prior on, right here. I took it on Monday. Divergence. This pin already tells you that they're trapping traders at the high of the day. Monday, for me, this divergence was good enough because I already know the pin. Once it retraced, my entry was right here.
Okay.
And I took this down to the water. It's a Monday. I don't know where I'm assuming that the train is going back up. I don't know when they're going to go back up. I could assume, right, and hold on to the trade. So this is why I take 2 trades. I close one out at the water sometimes, right? Even though it's 13 pips, I close it out the water. I'll watch my trades if I'm in it. And I'll be like, okay, this is level 1, level 2, level 3. Now, I've gotten very, very good at counting levels. So for me, I'm not scared out of a trade. You know what I mean? I would have held on to this trade if this was a Tuesday. Because it's a Friday and I don't like taking swap fees, I want you to see how the levels are fractal, and this is what people mean, right? Level 1, stop hunt. Level 2, stop hunt, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Level 1, stop hunt, right? Breaks a level 2, stop. It stops hunt again because it's there. Now we got level 2, right? So I want you to see that. Okay, hold on. This is not how I counted it. I marked it off. I'm sorry. And you see how it's easily convincing to me. So I anticipated this, but if this is really level 3. Level 1, stop hunt. Level 2, where is it? Stop hunt. Level 3. But if you miss this stop hunt, which I do sometimes, right? You take this is level 2. Usually a reset happens on the 800 or the 200. Since I was anticipating long and it broke, structure, I knew that this was going long. Did I take this trade? No. Why didn't I take this trade? Why did I not take this trade and I took this trade? For me, still, where's my W? I don't see it. And I didn't mark off the liquidity on the 1 hour, so I didn't take it. But right here I did, because I have a triple bottom right at the water. I mean, at the Mayo. I'm sorry. Triple bottom right at the Mayo. You can't see the divergence, but it's there. It's very slight. And on the 1 hour, just like Kyle said, you're waiting for the stop hunt. See how they went up high? Stop hunt, drop, equal. There's equal lows somewhere right here. They're going up. I know it's confusing the way I do it, but for me, I see it very clearly. This is why I said, if you don't see things clearly for you, then don't trade them. Somebody else might see them a different way. If you look at my M also, here's another reason why I took that M. See the divergence on the 1 hour? From here to here? See that divergence right there? So you have 1 hour divergence, which for me, I will tell you this. If I don't have divergence on the 1 hour, I really don't take a setup on the 15 minute.
So you first look at H1 divergence, then you come down to...
Yes. So, and if I miss this, I'm okay. I'm anticipating now this stop hunt, because to me, this right here is, should be the stop hunt. And just like Jeff has told you, right? This is the nadir right here. Your nadir, it's a whack W. Look at your nadir right here. It doesn't break it, but it also, look at the multi-session W it gives you. Now, it's from last week's low, right? So it gave you a multi-session, bigger multi-session W, head and shoulders. And if you broke down to the 15 minute, the 15 minute gave you a 15 minute head and shoulder. So you have a 15 minute head and shoulder right here. You can't see it. Remember I showed it to you? And now you have a 1 hour, 15 minute head and shoulder. I mean, a 1 hour head and shoulder. So that in and of itself will tell me that this is going long. So I'm just anticipating where I can find my M's and W's. So if you break this down from here to here on a 1 hour chart, here is where you have your 15-minute head and shoulder pattern. And here is where you have your 1 hour head and shoulder pattern. See it now on the 15-minute? 15-minute head and shoulder, 1 hour head and shoulder. W right there. Next day, after the head and shoulder pattern.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Maria.
That's the way I see the market.
Yeah.
Now, you see how, for me, I call it retarded, I call it whatever, but a lot of people don't see the market the way that I see the market, so they don't trade it. I see it that way. So sometimes I'm late in getting in a trade, and I used to not be able to get that trade, and I used to be able to be like, oh, I can't get it because it's down here. I don't know if the market's going to retrace on me. So now if I look at this bias, and this bias is telling me it's going long, the next day I'm waiting to go long, right? So if I'm waiting to go long, where am I waiting to go long? I'm waiting to find my pattern, W or M, that I can see clearly because I'm blind as shit, and I'm taking that trade, and I watch my trades. So for me, I would have gotten in probably right here, very tight stop loss. Now I've started to use a 10 pip stop loss. So that's because my account has grown. I honestly, it's 10, 15, maybe 20 pips sometimes. I'll do it down here because I know that this liquidity, they may not go. Look at this. Look at this. They've trapped all these traders. So that would have been a 20 pip stop loss right at a quarter point, right? And I would have let this ride, the second one ride.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry if I'm taking long and I'm taking over, Kyle. Didn't mean to do that. So I'll stop.
I watch I keep it too long, but it's cool. Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Anybody got any questions? I'm not an expert. Just trust me. I've just found consistency this summer. That tells you how long it's been. So for me, it's been a 2-year road. And I stopped taking all of the crap that everybody else is taking and whatever. I have a lot of pairs here because I'm testing in demo. And if you notice, a lot of my pairs are still EU and GU because I'm still learning, because those are the pairs that I still follow. Those are the pairs that I still follow. I made a mistake trying to catch the reversal here. And if you notice, no 1 hour divergence. This is what I said. I broke my own rule. So if there's no 1 hour divergence, I shouldn't have even been in this trade. But I took a 10 pip stop, and I was done. So I broke my own rule, and I got my butt handed to me. So I'm not trying to take this until I can see the divergence. So done for me. That's all I got, guys. Sorry.
All right. You're cool. Appreciate it, Maria. I mean, everybody has a lot of knowledge here, so I mean, whatever I can pick up too. Like you said, we're all students, so.
Yeah, thank you very much for that equal lows and explaining that. To me, it really just hits. It's giving me more confirmations to the way that I trade too.
Absolutely. All right. You might want to switch back to my screen.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing. I hope. Is that good?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to see how to get back to mine now.
If you go up to the top, it should say, I don't know who, somebody was in here was like,
let me see here, because I can't switch it back to mine
now. It should give you an option to.
Can you see mine now?
Yep. Gotcha.
Right, perfect. All right. So, I mean, we're pretty much, me and Maria got the same type of style. The biggest things to keep you guys consistent is definitely planning your trades out. Make sure you're back testing. You can see Maria was prepared. I'm prepared for the next day. Trading your plan. 1 or 2 trades a day. I like to think about it like I got 2 bullets. So you better make those things count. You got 2 shots at it. That's how I feel. Market structure, like I showed you, the pool of liquidity that we had down here. You're watching these pool of liquidity to see where the market makers are going. You have equal lows down here on the Tuesday and Wednesday. They didn't break that, which gave me confirmation, which is my confirmation that this is probably the low of the week, and we're trading up higher successfully each day. Time of the day for your entries, just like Jeff teaches, you want to make sure you're trading session times. For me, I look a little bit before session times. I don't always do it at 8:30, but 7 o'clock for me, 7 o'clock to 8:30 in that range is definitely the best time for me. A big thing that's kept me, got me consistent, at least to where I'm at now, is definitely taking partial profits. So definitely closing out your trades at areas that make sense, key areas, top of the Asian box. You definitely want to hold it there. We drop down to the 15-minute chart. You may want to take it at 25, 50 pips. Depending on what your ADR is for your pair, you definitely want to be consistent with that. And what I like to do as well is like to think long term. If we talk about psychology, you know, like Maria said, she's not ready for a standard lot, and she recognizes that. She's comfortable trading her half standards and whatever her account balance shows. So definitely going too hard on the setups is not something you guys want to do. You want to make sure that you're thinking about your account long term and it is going to grow. If you could think 6 months, 8 months, 12 months down the line. Um, so really, I mean, that's all I really had for my end. Maria definitely jumped in and helped out a lot. You guys want to have open floor? Any questions? Maybe I can help with, or anybody else? Can anybody hear me?
I hear you.
All
I
right,
got you.
cool. All right. Well, I mean, if there's no questions, hit me
Yeah.
on the Telegram if you have anything to speak about. We do have different styles, but at the end, it's all still the same strategy. We're still looking for liquidity. We're still looking for our setups, and we're trying to take those entries at the right time of the day, which is definitely a big thing. So I did record this. If Jeff's cool with it, I'll post it in the Telegram chat. But besides that, everybody have a good day, and I'll see y'all later, okay?
All right, guys, take care. And just so we're clear, I'm still not good with half a standard either, so I'm not there yet. But I know it. So
you know what I meant. Yeah.
yeah, I got you,
All
bro.
right.
Thank you very much for
All
all your
right.
help, brother.
All right. No problem.
All right,
Thanks,
take care.
guys. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Have a good day, everybody.